Welcome dear students to combined maths class of St. Peter's College, Colombo Number branch. Right? In this segment, I'm going to discuss with you two past paper questions. In earlier segment, I explained you how to sketch a complicated curve using the derivative theory. So I just follow those steps and will try to do these two questions, these two past paper questions. And finally, you can see that actually those two questions are very easy, right? Okay, we will start like this. The function given in here is 2x cubed plus ax squared plus bx, where a and b are real constants. Suppose that f dash 3 is 12 and f double dash 3 is 18. And also what we want to find here, find the values of the unknowns a and b. Right? To find a and b, we need to have simultaneous equation, two equations. To build the two equations, the information given, what are the information given here? F dash 3, that means the value of derivative function at x equals 3 and also value of second derivative function at x equals 3, right? I'm going to use those two information to find a and b. Okay. Right? Here just I differentiate the function with respect to x, right? 2x cube, if I differentiate it, this x, 6x squared plus 2x plus b, the first derivative function, and again I differentiated this function with respect to x. So I got 12x plus 2a, right? Now I found here f dash x, f double dash x. So I'm going to use, I have used here the two informations. F dash 3, right? To find f dash 3, what I want to do here, just put the value of 3 instead of x, right? So 6 square of 3, 9, and 6a, right, plus b. So the answer of that one, it is given, it is 12, right? So using this information, I build here an equation of a and b. 6a plus b equals minus 42. That is the first equation. And to build the second equation, here I used the second derivative, f double dash 3, to find that what I have done here, using the second derivative function, I put here just 3, right? 12 times 3, that means 36, plus 2a. So the answer of this value should be 18 as per the information, right? So I just simplify, just cancel with 2 here. So from this equation I have found here the value of a, that is minus 9. So I brought this value to the first equation here. So you can see b is equal, just simplified, you can see that the answer of b is 12, right? So the answer of a is 9 minus 9, the answer of b is 12, right? So we have done the first part of the question. We'll move to the next part. Sketch the graph of y equal fx, indicating the turning points, right? Indicating the turning points, and then right, we'll move to the next slide to find out the necessary things. The first thing, as per the steps, the first thing I have found here the turning points, right? So before we go for the turning points, we should find the stationary points here. So to find the stationary points, what is the procedure we should follow here? Equate the derivative function, the first derivative to 0, right? So that's what I have done here. This is the derivative function. I just equated the derivative function to 0, just simplified and factorized and found the value of x, right? At x equals 2 and also at x equals 1, there are stationary points, right? Okay, so to find the y coordinate of this stationary points, I just put the value 2 into the initial function. You can see there on the top of the screen the initial function. So y equals, right, y equals 16 minus 33. That means I just put x equals to the initial function. So I got the answer here 4. And to find the y coordinates at x equals 1, right, I just put the value 1 into the initial function and I found the answer 5 here. So the stationary points are 2, 4 and 1, 5. Now the next thing we want to decide which one is in which place having maximum and the minimum of the function. For that, here I use the second derivative test, right? Previously I explained you how to use the first derivative test, and here we use the second derivative test, right? So to find the second, to apply the second derivative test, we need to have the second derivative function. So I just wrote again the first derivative test and the first derivative and the second derivative here. Okay, so we're going to check these 2 points. So I picked the x coordinate of these 2 points, 2 and 1, right? So first thing I have done here, found f dash 2, right? F dash 2, to find that already you can use these factors also. Anyway, you can use this function to find the value of f dash 2. Just put the value 2 into the function, you will get the answer 0, right? And to apply the second derivative, f double dash 2, to find this, I just put here 2, right? Here we just check in the sign. Just try this, you can have the answer here, but a positive one. So from this factor, right, we can conclude that the function having a relative minimum at x equals 2 according to the second derivative test, right? So what is the relative factor here? The first one, right? If you look at the first one, it is equal to this. So we can conclude what at x equals 2, there is a relative minimum. So the second point I want to check f equals x equals 1. So f dash 1 equals 0, you can find from here, and also f double dash 1, just put value 1 here, you can get negative answer for this. So relative maximum, right? There is a relative maximum. So here finally I concluded 1, 5 is the maximum point and 2, 4 is the minimum point, right? So we found 2 things, minimum point and the maximum point. Next, according to the steps, the second one I want to find here, intersecting points of coordinates, right? So just look at here the little graph I have drawn. So you can see the place where the graph cuts the x-axis and y-axis. So speciality in this point, what y coordinate is 0, right? Y coordinate is 0. The other one is x coordinate is 0, right? To find this point, we should equate y to 0, and to find this point, we should equate x to 0, right? Okay. So that's what I have done in this in these steps. When x equals 0, means I try to find the place where the graph cuts the y-axis. So at x equals 0, to find y, what you should do, you have to put x equals 0 into the initial function. Everywhere you can see x, that means if you put 0 there, so answer we get 0. That's why I put here y equals 0, right? So when y equals 0, means from this step I try to find the place where the graph cuts the x-axis, right? So y0 means the value of the function becomes 0. That means I can equate this function to 0. That's what I have done here. The function has been equated to 0, right? Just this is just solving a cubic equation. So everywhere you can see x. So I took x out. So inside the bracket you can see a quadrant, right? So from these 2 factors I can conclude x equals 0. To find the other factors, other points, I have to factorize this quadratic function. Actually, if you check b square minus 4ac, you get the answer negative answer. That means actually we can't factorize this. That means we can't find more points, right? So only one point we can pick, that is x equals 0. That from these 2 we can conclude what? There is only one intersecting point, that is 0, 0. That means the graph passes the origin. Okay, right. Next step, what we want to do here, we want to find the vertical asymptotes. For that we should equate the function to 0, the initial function to 0. Actually we can see vertical asymptotes in the functions in the format of rational. Actually this one is not a rational function. So I just concluded here there are no vertical asymptotes, right? Last point, I want to find here the horizontal asymptotes. For that we have to use this limit. From this we check what will happen to the graph when x goes to positive infinity and the negative infinity. For that I use here limits theory. Limit x goes to plus or minus infinity, what will happen to the function, right? Okay, so if you look at the function here, function contains 3 terms. Each and every term contains the unknown x, right? Here says x goes to plus or minus infinity. That means each and every term in the function goes to infinity, right? With the x, it goes to infinity. That means whole the function goes to infinity. Infinity is not an answer. Therefore, we can conclude, right? To find out the horizontal asymptotes, actually we should get a value here. Okay, so this is not a value. That means we can conclude there are no horizontal asymptotes, right? So these are the steps you should follow. Now using this information you can start to sketch the curve, right? So earlier we found what minimum point and the maximum point. We just find out, we go back and see. Maximum point is 1, 5, minimum point is 2, 4. So I just mark those points. So I just take this place as 1 and this place as 2. That means x equal 1, x equal 2. So the maximum point I mark this point. So this should be 5 and this should be 4 here, somewhere here. So this point is 1, 5, right? The other point is 2, 4. Right? So 1, 5 is the maximum point. So the shape of the graph we can draw like this. Okay? So the shape of the graph we can draw like this. And at 2, 4 there is a relative minimum. So shape we can continue like this. Right. Okay. So behavior around the maximum and minimum point I have marked. And we know that the graph is passing through the origin. Therefore, I can extend this side up to origin. It passes through the origin. So I can extend this side so that the graph passes through the origin. So the other side, so in between these 2 points, actually there is a maximum and minimum. That means I can join these 2 lines. To join these lines, just I join these 2 lines, right? And also the function is increasing. There are no horizontal and vertical asymptotes. So this is the curve which is related to the function y equal fx, right? Okay.